Hello, hello, friends. Laura Whitfield here, your independent Scentsy consultant with Laura's Aroma Retreat. And we're going to be diving into the March mystery box, okay? Or Gleam box is what I call it, but call it March mystery box is how pretty much you know what it is, right? This is technically my second shoot for tonight. I did go live in my community group to unveil this, but let's be straight. I'm a little more candid with you guys here sometimes about things that are going on with me because my family doesn't watch me here. And that's just the truth. So, and yes, I have my wind down coffee for tonight. It's been a rough week. I've been struggling. I'm a little bit down in the deep dark hole. And I don't have any particular reason why I'm in the deep dark hole. I'm just feeling it really freaking big this week. I have spent a stupid amount of time watching TV. I like to watch TV, right? Like, I'm not anti-TV. But months ago, right, like, I'd maybe watch TV once a week, if that. And usually it was because I was working on something. Like, if I'm packaging catalogs, right, like, I'll put on a show and let it play while I'm working. Or if James had, a night off that we got the kids to bed at a decent hour, right? Like, sometimes we'd watch an episode or two of Walking Dead. And but I've not been a big TV person, give or take a show here and there, right? Like Handmaid's Tale, hello. I know some of you are probably cringing going, that's some up stuff. And it is, okay? But I'm weird, I'm twisted, it's fine. So anywho, I've been watching a lot of TV. That's the truth. I just can't, and I'm saying a lot, and it's already getting on my nerves. I just haven't, I don't know. I needed rest. I haven't been on social media a whole lot. I haven't been messing with my phone as much. Like, I've been trying to focus, I guess, more on, I don't know, taking a step back, doing some other things, some more downtime. I don't know. I need more quiet. I need more peace. It just is what it is right now. So I'm just kind of rolling with the punches, but it's been a very heavy week. It's been very emotional. I've spent plenty of time watching TV and plenty of time crying, if you want to know the truth. So I want to show you guys this really quick, because if you're not on my personal page, right, like, you wouldn't have seen this. I gained a best friend that I never would have expected through Scentsy, right? Like, my sponsor is, I talk to her every single day, and not just about Scentsy, right? Like, we're very heavily involved in each other's day-to-day lives. I was with her when James passed. She was not physically with me the moment that I found out, because she was a director. She was at the leadership breakfast, and I had stayed back at the, our Airbnb that we had rented, to take a shower, and then I was going to meet up with her. But like, when I found out, I sent her a voice message, right? Because I couldn't even, typing was not a thing. I just told her, I have to go home. James is gone. I have to go home. I'm headed to the airport, right? And she took it upon herself to meet me at the airport and sit with me and walk as far as she could with me until I could get on a plane to go home. And since that time, our relationship has really just grown. Grown. There's not a day that I don't talk to her. And I'm looking up something here while we're at it. So she has had some stuff going on. And I don't want to air her business, right? I don't. So, but suffice it to say, we got into a conversation, right, about dreams. And I was talking to her, and I had told her that I forever have had raw amethyst in my room. Okay. She was having some bad dreams, having some trouble sleeping. And I've got raw amethyst in my room, right? Like she was talking about, well, maybe I'll get a dream catcher. She used to have one, whatever. So we started talking about stuff. And, during, when I was in high school, right? Like I am your stereotypical, believe it or not, as even keeled as I am, right? Like I was way into that goth thing. I dyed my hair black. I had all of the witchy things around my room, right? Like I'm not super religious. Let's just be honest. I don't have anything against religion. Like I fully support it, and you will never hear any judgment from me on the religious aspect. Okay. So please don't take it that way. But yeah, I had all that witchy stuff, the incense, the candles, the gems, the all of it, right? Okay. And yes, I know I've grown up since then. I am no longer a 14-year-old nutcase. I'm now a 40-year-old nutcase. Okay. But like I grew out of that phase of my life. But there are things that I don't know, like I still keep from that time period, things that bring me comfort or things that I still see value in, even though like I don't need to go the Hot Topic route. Okay. Although I do still love me some Hot Topic. Okay. And I love them head shops. Like I will go in there, sniff all of the things, check out all the cool stuff, right? Like I love the stars and the moons and the fairies. And like, I do. I still love fairies, right? Like I would love to be a fairy. But anyway, so I'm getting way off topic here. So anywho, we were talking about the fact that I still sleep with amethyst in my room. Like amethyst is supposed to be cleansing. It's supposed to bring you good energy. I could look that up if y'all wanted to, but you can too. But I still feel very much like amethyst is a very powerful thing. Okay. And it's not because of witchy reasons, right? Like I feel like everything in this world has energy and absorbs energy. And like, that law that energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It's just transferred. Okay. So I believe very firmly that, some things will amplify certain energies or absorb them. Okay. And that I think that's more of a law of science than it is of like magic or higher powers or whatever, right? Like I think it's more just that's how nature works. Okay. So we were talking about some of these things, and I had sent her, I'm also a very big user of essential oils, and I have been long before Scentsy, right? Before joining Scentsy. It's one of the things that I love about our diffusers, and I use a really good mix of our oils. While Scentsy makes no medical claims, I still feel very much that like our oils are still kind of that same grade. But to get the licensing to make the medical claims and say, yes, it's okay to put it on your skin. Yes, it's okay to ingest it. Don't ingest Scentsy oils. I never would try that. There's a lot of requirements that they have to go through, a lot of requirements, a lot of licensing. And let's be honest, we're a fragrance company, right? I still think aromatherapy in and of itself, regardless of the medical grade, right? Like our brain reacts to certain smells and certain fragrances in different ways. Okay. So I use a mix of medical grade essential oils from doTERRA. Okay. And our Scentsy fragrance oils. Most of my oils are diffused through my home to create an environment, right? Like an environment. But I also will use oils on my body. So like I like the peace oil. I like I said, that balance oil that I'm using in the deodorant. I like I've started taking some of their supplements as well. Adaptive is one of them. One for female hormones, right? Like, cause I know on the inside, right? Like I'm a hurricane. I am a hurricane. And whatever I can do to help calm some of that storm, I'm down for it. I will give anything a go, right? Like this week has sucked so bad. So bad. And like it took every ounce of everything that I had to not just stay in my bed for days. And that's just the truth. So anyway, so her and I got on this topic of gems and stuff like that. And she's was talking over with her husband, and he ordered her a couple of things, like anything to help, right? Anything to help. Nothing's going to hurt. It can only help. And God love this woman, man, because she called me today and she's like, you need to open your Amazon packages. And I'm like, what? She's like, you need to open your Amazon packages. What I sent you came Friday. Like, she knows me so well, right? And I get a lot of my business supplies through Amazon, right? So I don't always open them when they arrive because I'm like, I'll pre-order things knowing that I'm going to need them, and then I won't even bother to open the package until I know it's time. So I had ordered some new Happy Meal stickers. I had ordered some new felt samples because I'm running low and those bricks are coming. So like I just set them inside what I call the package table by my door. Like I brought them in. But she called me today. She's like, you need to open your Amazon packages. So I opened my Amazon packages and this bracelet was inside. Okay. And I'm not a big jewelry person, right? Like I didn't start wearing this necklace until my grandmother passed. And it's because it's hers, right? The only thing that I ever wear for years has been my wedding ring. And that's not coming off. And then when my grandmother passed and we went down for Christmas, my grandpa had us draw for her jewelry. Okay, we had to pick a number so that it was all evenly divided and it was done as fair as possible, right? My grandmother wore this specific diamond pendant on a gold chain, and that went to my cousin. I mean, she drew number 1. I've got no hard feelings about that, right? Like, she even checked me. She's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yes, I'm sure. You absolutely need to have that, right? Like, it meant the world to her. And I knew, because of who my dad was, that a lot of the pieces on the table came from me to my grams. And this was one of them. And it says grandmother. And on the back, it says, a wonderful mom with more practice, right? And I'm the grandma now. So this was my first pick, and I put it on that day, and I have not taken it off since, right? Like I have worn this every day since. I struggle a little bit with bracelets because I type and then it pushes down on my wrist, but I believe very, very firmly that it carries energy, right? Like this will project. They project energy. They absorb energy. They reflect energy. Like energy is everywhere. So jade is a gemstone believed to have benefits including increasing fortune, grounding, and enhancing maturity in relationships. I mean, she sent it to me because of grounding, right? Different crystals and stones are believed to harness their own energies and provide unique benefits. So she picked out jade, and she also loved the sunflower charm, and I got to go get the card. And we're 15 minutes in, and I haven't even touched on the mystery box, right? It came with a little pouch and a card on the inside, and I'm just going to go sit back down. And guys, okay, so my sister took the kids for me Friday night. Originally, it was because it's the St. Patty's Day parade, and we had taken the kids last year, and we had a lot of fun. Yeah, and she was like, "Do you want to do St. Patty's Day parade this year?" And I'm like, "Please don't take this the wrong way," but no, I don't. I'm going out and doing things way more than I was, but I still prefer my bubble. I still struggle very much in like family settings. Like I still take the kids to go do go do things like I don't want them to be trapped in because I'm a mess. But I still struggle to go out and do family setting things and see whole families and kids with their dads and and that's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. And I'm not there right now. It doesn't mean that I'm never going to be there, but I'm not there right now. So I'm like, no, please don't take offense, but I don't want to go. So she ended up taking the kids Friday night. They didn't go to the parade for long because it was cold. It's been cold the last couple of days. And I'm like, but she like triple bundled them. They had 2 pairs of pants on, 2 pairs of socks, 2 pairs of gloves, a hat, a hood, a coat, a sweatshirt, and a blanket in the wagon. They were fine. But they only spent 30 minutes at the parade because my sister was freezing to death. My mom was like, well, why didn't she bundle herself just as good? I'm like, because she told me originally that they didn't think they were going because it was too cold. So I didn't pack all the things. So she had to give them all her things. Like, she didn't have anything left once she gave it all to the kids, right? Like, because I got thick gloves for them kids. Like, full-on Colorado skiing gloves because Nuggie gets so cold. Okay, so the card that came with it is right here. It says, life is tough, but so are you. In a world full of roses, be a sunflower, so that even on the darkest day, you can still stand tall. May wearing this bracelet bring you some relief and healing energy, and may the bracelet remind you how brave and loved you are. So, again, it's a grounding stone. And her and I have had many conversations lately about grounding oils, which I use, right? Like anything with a wood base. And maybe that's why I like wood fragrances so much, right? Like, I've always really, really loved them. But they are grounding, right? Like, they feel comforting and safe and, I don't know, just homey, right? Like, there's something about the wood-based oils that, or, you know, wood-based fragrances, like forever, right? Like, there is something about it that just brings a certain sense of calm. So I think that still plays into the aromatherapy arena, medical grade or not, wax or oil or whatever. But we were having full-on conversation about grounding gems, grounding oils, grounding fragrances. Like, we were having a whole thing. So, and thank God she loves me enough and knows the way my mind works enough, right, to know that she had to call and tell me, like, hey, you need to freaking open your packages now because this was delivered Friday and I'm waiting on you. Like, it's who she is, right? Like, she's super blunt and I love her for it. I love her for everything that she is. And of course, Star Wars is what brought her into my life, right? Like, that's how I found her. I was in a mom group going, hey, do we have any Scentsy consultants here? Because I need Darth Vader. If you'd have told me 3 years ago that I was going to be talking to this gal every single day, no matter what, come hell or high water, I was going to hear from her or she was going to hear from me, right? Like, I'd have been like, she's just some random chick in a mom group. No. She was meant to be in my life. So I just wanted to share that because it's beautiful. So, all right, now that we are, God, I hope you got yourself a drink. We'll dive into my March box because I know everybody got it. Yet I haven't unveiled this with you guys in a while. And part of the reason that I haven't even bothered to film it, truthfully, is I was not completely satisfied with my boxes. I just wasn't. I've been doing them, and of course I'm still doing my theme, and like, I know that it wasn't my best, right? Like, nobody complained. Nobody was sad about the contents that they got. It's my own thing in my own head where, like, I'm lacking on the inside quite a bit, and it's affecting the way that I do all kinds of things, including my boxes, right? And I have like this very limited amount of mental capacity still, and this limited amount of energy. And I made the ultimate decision to not cut out Happy Mail, right? Like, wax samples are still going out. Information is still going out. Like, everybody's still getting Happy Mail who's on my list, but I made the decision to cut out what I kind of referred to as like my premium Happy Mails, where it had a lot of full-size samples in it, because it was starting to get really, really overwhelming. And I felt like it was pulling me away from some of the things that I really find the most joy in, is the best way that I can put it. Like, I still want to send Happy Mail, right? Like I still think that that is critically important to get fragrances underneath people's noses and give you guys the opportunity to smell all the things. But it was draining. I'm just gonna be honest. It was draining, right? And I'm not one to sugarcoat things. I'm not one to dance around it. I still feel that people deserve more than just a newsletter, right? So anything that I touch is going to get more, but I don't want to have that extra added layer of, okay, I've done this, zhuzh this up, and then now I have to do another one kind of thing. Like I just mentally right now cannot handle it. And we're going into summer. And my kids are not going to be in a summer program. They're going to be home. And even like next week, right? Next week would have been the time that I was doing all the Happy Mail, which would have taken me about 3 days to do it all because of the number of pieces that I send out. And my kids are going to be on spring break, right? Like I don't want to spend half their spring break working on packages. I don't. I want to spend their spring break taking them to the park if the weather allows. Possibly, and I'm playing around. Like my grandpa wanted me to come down to Florida. And I just can't swing another trip to Florida right now. Like I cannot swing a third trip to Florida in under 6 months. That is a lot for me. Plus then I would be coming back and 2 weeks later getting on the cruise, which this is going to sound so terrible. I'm regretting that I'm going on this cruise already and I haven't even started to pack. And that's part of it. Like it's feeling super overwhelming for me. Like, okay, I have to pack. There are things that I need to bring. I need to go shopping. I'm going to be away from my babies for a week. Like I'm having a lot of severe anxiety about getting on that boat. I'm going to get on the boat. But I'm going to feel this build up of like really not wanting to go until the minute that I'm already out the door, just like I did when we went to Florida for Christmas, right? Like I felt a lot of stress and a lot of no, don't take me out of my bubble until I actually got out of my bubble and then I was okay. So being somewhere is not hard. It's the actually making myself go somewhere that's 10 times harder. So anyhow, all right, my March mystery box. I do call these my Gleam boxes. My official team name through Scentsy is Living the Gleam. My sponsor and I took a different route this year. Like I had my own team page, and then because her and I collaborate so much, we decided we were going to join forces and just put all the information in one spot. I'm also texting a lot more. Whatever. So anyways, so these are my Gleam boxes. That's what they've been called from day one. And we're going to take a look inside. Okay. So like I said, this is a specially curated box. You will always, I keep it between $30 to $35 depending on the contents. You will always get that dollar amount in full size product, hands down. Anything else in here is just a bonus. So this box here is Good Vibes. So I went with a kind of like a 70s theme. Red and yellow was kind of my thought. This is one of the things that has already gotten a facelift. So I've always included an Exploring the Contents card, but it's been much smaller. And I more or less built a story around the items versus actually telling you what the heck is in the box. So I have decided that really what I'm going to do, not that there isn't a story, right? Like there's a theme. There's a very clear theme when you open this box. But I'm including the scent notes of what's included in the box, right? Like you shouldn't have to go and look it up to find out what fragrances are in here. That's way more work for you guys, right? Like you can see the theme just in how I've decorated the box. You can see the theme and what I put in the box. You really don't need me to build an extra story for you guys because it tells a story the minute you open it, okay? It really does. So instead, I've shifted the card to telling you what scent notes are in the darn box so you don't have to sit there and go out and look it up, okay? So 1970s, all right, and I'm going to set a couple of things aside because I want to talk to you about the way that another facelift that I've done on these boxes. 1970s, I think, and I know 60s is Peace Man, Flower Power, whatever, but like you still had that whole like natural vibe thing going on. There was still like, I mean, I searched 1970s, you got the chick with the flower crown, whatever, okay? So keeping with that theme, I did include a fragrance flower in Black Raspberry Vanilla. So I did do the Dahlia Darling fragrance flower. Now I am personally a bigger fan of the Buttercup Belle in terms of scent throw. Okay, I have found in my personal experience that the wider petals on the Buttercup Belle has a better throw than the Dahlia Darling with the close-knit petals, okay? But it is not lost on me, because I do pay attention, that pretty much every order that I've ever taken for a fragrance flower has been the Dahlia Darling design, okay? So I did include the Black Raspberry Vanilla Dahlia Darling. This is the flower that's on the inside in this box. So you can actually color the tips of these petals with any permanent marker, okay? They're called an alcohol ink. Okay, that's what's used in permanent marker, is an alcohol ink, which means that it reactivates when it hits the oil, which is why the colors spread. And that's my little crafty nerd thing for you for the day. I also wonder, right, because I know food coloring really doesn't work. I wonder if for that pink sunshine flower, if Scentsy didn't add alcohol ink to the oil. I happen to have alcohol inks because they're a lot of fun to play with. I'll show you. Hold on. Let me show you something else about alcohol ink. Okay. So if you are crafty in any way, shape, or form, and you like different art projects, and I know I'm walking over to my desk. Hang on. But I play with alcohol ink, and I love it. I love it. It does some really cool stuff. So I do partially wonder if that's what Scentsy added to the oil. So I am due to do my next flower, open my next flower for my desk. And I think I'm going to give this a try, okay, just to see how it works out. But this is alcohol ink. So I personally really like the Ranger inks. This is just a tile from Home Depot, okay? And I colored the edges with a black permanent marker because that's also alcohol ink, right? Sharpie is an alcohol ink. And I used oils and the blow, like you squeeze out the ink and you blow it around. You can use a hair dryer, you can use a straw. I have a crafting blower that I used for this. It's a heat gun for embossing, because then it also, while it's blowing the pattern, it dries the ink, right? So it does dry very fast. And I just got cork for the back of this. It had adhesive on the back, but I used hot glue. And I've got quite a few of these. I also have one that I did in alcohol ink of Darth Vader. I've done, because I used my Cricut to create the stencil for it, and then just painted it in with the alcohol ink, so it looks really cool. I did some Chicago Bears stuff for James. Most of what I like is the abstract. And like, that's my favorite shade of blue by far, 100%. So this is the same concept of what's in a Sharpie marker, which is why when it hits the oil in your flower, it will spread that way, right? It will spread that way because really the alcohol is the only part that is dried. So when it hits the oil, it reactivates the color. So I'm wondering if that's not what Scentsy added to an oil. Now this box here, the only reason that I have an extra box, honestly, everybody got their boxes already, is because I am dropping this off to a girlfriend in the next day or two, because she is very heavily involved in the foundation for childhood cancer. Her actual best friend, son had childhood cancer. He is a survivor. They go big, and I have donated some sort of basket or box for the last 3 years for this. So I got an extra one this time around so that I could give this to her, so it would be super cute, something extra unique for this month's raffle, or the raffle this year. But I am going to add to my next flower alcohol ink to see if that's how Scentsy got the pink flower. because food coloring, let me tell you, does not spread the same way. So I'm going to go ahead and close that up. And I think it is that reactivation thing, right? I think it has to do with how alcohol ink reacts to the oil, because that's what's in your Sharpie, right? And you know, when you color the tips of your flower, that it really, truly does, the color does spread perfectly. I think it has to be some sort of ink in my brain, just from my own crafting experience, okay? But we'll find out. I'm going to experiment and we're going to find out. Okay, keeping with that whole 70s vibe, good vibes, red, yellow. But I did place the order at the end of the fall catalog, and I did that for two reasons. One, I always like to place my order before the month is out, so that I can get the box in and like the contents for the box in at the first week and a half, depending on Scentsy shipping, so that I can get it in, put all of this together, and get this shipped out so that it doesn't arrive any later than the second week of the month, right? So kind of like a mid-month surprise, right? Like we get a lot of stuff at the beginning of the month, a lot of stuff at the end of the month. And the middle of the month is kind of like flat sometimes in Scentsy land. So I like to add that extra surprise in the middle. But being that it was placed at the end of February, okay, one, I was able to ramp up the contents in this box because of the 10% discount. And two, I had to get real creative to not end up with anything that was specifically pumpkin or Christmas, right? No fall, no Christmas. So that's how we wound up on these two bars. The first bar in here is Scarlet Sunflower. Now, hopefully y'all put these in your club because they have officially retired. But Scarlet Sunflower is a lovely fruity scent. I think that this was a perfect transitional scent, especially for the month of March, where we're over all of those heavy holiday scents. We're ready for something fresh. We're ready for something fruity, but it's still flipping freezing in the Midwest. Okay, right? Like yesterday, it was blowing and gusting snow everywhere while I was cleaning my room. Did I even tell you guys that I spent like all day yesterday cleaning my, it was the first time that I really cleaned my room in probably almost a year, like deep cleaned, okay? Not 10-second tidy, not, you know, it'll be 9 months in a couple of days. And I've kept up with it to a certain extent, but not like deep clean my room. Like I had a mountain of clothes that Elena has grown out of in the last 9 months, that I set aside for my granddaughter, right? Because my daughter, my oldest daughter, my bonus daughter, whatever it is you want to call her, has, you know, my three grandbabies, soon to be my fourth grandbaby, coming in June, and they're all under the age of 2. Yes, she knows she's crazy. The first set was twins, though, right? Like, it was not intentional, like 2 for the price of 1. But anyway, so they're a young family with lots of kids. My son-in-law just retired from the Coast Guard. And if you know anything about military, right, like they don't pay big. So, you know, things will get better now that he's retired and got a private employment that pays way more than the military does because of his military training. Okay. Because Coast Guard is part of the military. So anyway, so I had like 2 baskets, right? Like mountainous baskets of things that the kids have grown out of that I set aside for her and whatever, right? Like it's just catch-all. It's a catch-all, right? Like I've kept up with my kitchen. I've kept up with my front room. I've kept up with the kids' toy room. I've kept up with the kids' bedrooms and bathrooms and all of it except my space. And I cleaned like a mad woman and now I can't breathe through my nose. So I kicked up a lot of, I don't even want to know. I don't want to know. My air purifier has been on red for 48 hours now. Like it's still going. And I'm like, great. What did I do? So I'm really stuffed up today. It's fine. It's fine. I'm just going to snort some Vicks, and do that like pressure. I don't know. I saw it online or something like where you sniff Vicks and then you push into your cheekbones and like somehow it clears your sinus. I have no idea. I'm going to try it. Anything's worth a try. I can still smell though. So anyways, so Scarlet Sunflower is I felt like a wonderful transitional scent, right? It still has that kind of cozy feel to it without being like, it's not really floral. It's fruity. It's a fruity bar to me. But it's still got that like cozy feel, that cozy, warm, welcoming feel to it with that nice, fresh, fruity twist. Okay. So I felt that that was a perfect transition bar during March, where some days it might be nice. Other days you're going to be like, is Olaf outside? Okay, Elsa, knock it off, right? Like that's the way I felt yesterday. Like it was just flurrying all day long. It didn't stick, but it was flurries and wind all day long. It was like when Elsa's running up the dang mountain and that snow is just going around her. And I'm like, well, crap, I'm in a Disney movie. And not in one that I like, okay, I love Frozen. Frozen is a special place in my heart, but I really wouldn't want to like actually be in that because I don't like snow. And I'm mad at my sister for never wanting to move because now we can't go live in what Haley calls the hot place. So, because I can't go anywhere without my sister. So anywho, next bar is Apple Cherry Strudel. Again, keeping with that really uplifting, fruity, not heavy fragrance. I hope y'all put this in your club because it is really, really good. A lot of the people who get my box are bakery fans, but I don't feel like this is a heavy bakery. Like you get that little bit of a crust note in it, but mostly what you get is the cherry. So you get like this candied sweet cherry, a little bit of tart apple, right? Because it's Granny Smith apple that's in here. So you get that little bit of tartness of the Granny Smith apple with that zing of that bright pie cherry and just a tiny itty bitty hit of pie crust, right? Like it's not overly bakery for those who might not be big bakery fans, okay? So I did that. I also included a red light bulb. So you can do a lot of really fun things with our warmers by changing the color of your bulb. So a lot of you probably already know that and have already experimented with that many times over again. But I happen to know some of the people who got a box, right? Because I pay attention, have never experimented with colored bulbs. So it was a really fun way to stick with like my color theme, right? And my overall vibe, my overall good vibe, with putting in a color bulb for them to try, okay? And last but not least of the full-size product in the box is a room spray and pineapple pucker. So I was sharing the story of Haley and her public bathroom escapades, which you probably have seen, right? Like I'm pretty positive we posted here. But like even today, right? We went to the grocery store. Okay, we actually went to a couple of stores. I had to stop in at PetSmart because Puppy Pie ate another bed, her third bed, by the way, third bed. I finally just sucked it up and bought the Kong. I'm like, I don't even know why I'm playing around. When Storm was a pup, she ate through all of those less expensive, I don't want to say cheap because dog beds are not cheap no matter what you get, but the less expensive beds, and defluffed them all, every last one, till I finally bought her the Kong bed and then she couldn't chew through it and defluff it. So I'm like, I don't know why I bothered not to start there. Maybe it's because like now her crate is fully open because the crate that I had gotten had that spacer in it to where you could grow the crate with the puppy, but she's in the full crate now. And yes, she still sleeps in a crate because she eats everything and she's not trustworthy. And the minute that I were to fall asleep, I'm not certain that she wouldn't like eat every toy in the house. Or she's also a counter surfer, which I'm trying to break her of. And if the kids leave the pantry open, she will go steal snacks out of the pantry. So she cannot be trusted unattended. But so anyways, we went to PetSmart today. Of course, my children had to explore the bathroom. And we had to go to Meijer's and go grocery shopping, right? Like it's Sunday, prepping for the week. School's back in session tomorrow. Like I cannot wait till this week is over and they're on spring break. And I know I'm the anti-parent where I'm like, I just don't want to have to get up in the morning I mean, I will still wake up. Like my internal body clock, as I'm yawning, will still wake me up on time. But I want to sit and not rush through my coffee and enjoy it in peace before the children wake up. Not like I gotta chug this crap down, get the dog out, get the animals fed, get them back in the house, get upstairs, get the kids. Like, I'm ready for spring break. Just for the sole fact that I don't have to wake up my children and nobody will growl at me. Actually, I found a solution to the children growling at me in the morning. I have Amazon Prime, right? Like, but I also have the Amazon Premium Music, right? Because we have multiple devices around the house. So I found this playlist called Wake Up the Kids, and it changed the tone of our mornings. So instead of going in there and immediately being like, okay, it's time to wake up, I will turn on the Wake Up the Kids playlist, which they now know all the songs by heart. And when they hear, here comes Dobby the bear, all of a sudden the little eye cracks open like, like they can't wake up in a bad mood with this playlist. It's awesome. So I changed the tone of mornings. But so anyways, we went to 2 stores. They had to explore both bathrooms more than once. And Haley starts out every single time we go into the bathroom, Mom, get the Scentsy out. Like, it's a thing, right? Like, it's now, my children are very habitual, just like their mother, right? Like, I need a schedule. I need to know what's going on. I don't do well deviating, especially now, right? Like, I have a routine and I need to stick to it. I used to be a little more flexible. Not so much these days. So anyways, so I was telling the story about how I carry room spray in my purse, right? Because a lot of people are like, well, what do you do with the room spray? It lasts for freaking ever. Carry it in your purse to public places. That's what you're going to do. And then you're going to shake this sucker up real good. And you're going to hold it high up in the air. Let me find the thing because I want to spray my face. High up in the air. And then you just squirt and wave your hands around, okay? If you were just spraying like directly at your floor like you were doing with any other air freshener, it will leave a sticky oil. So you got to shake it really good, spray it high, and let it fall, right? And that's how you avoid the sticky residue from it. But I did, Pineapple Pucker was in the clearance section. Typically, I do not pull from the clearance section for my boxes because I don't really like to give you things and have you fall in love with them and be like, oh, sorry, you can't get that anymore, right? Like, I feel that's cruel in a way. But I didn't want to put a fall room spray in there. I don't want to be like, good vibes, here's some pumpkin. So I wanted something fruity. I wanted something fun. I wanted something, a way to bring up the value of the box without having to raise the dollar point at the end of the day. So I did actually pull Pineapple Pucker out of the clearance section. So it's really good. And I'm really set. This is full on, like, bringing me back to 80s, 90s, lip smackers. I mean, in all honesty, I will pick Pina Colada Cha-Cha over Pineapple Pucker any day, but it still makes me sad to see it go because it's got some serious nostalgia going on. It really does. So anyhow, okay, so those are the full-size products that came in this box. And of course I use like green paper crinkles to represent grass and be natural and stuff like that. But because I have, like I said, scaled back on some of those larger, on the larger Happy Meal packages, right? I am increasing what I'm putting into the things that are already coming in my hands, okay? Like, I still very firmly believe in samples. I still firmly believe that you need to sniff the things because how do you know if you like them if you don't sniff the things? So I should probably throw together a pre-order form. Like, as I'm filming this, I think probably tomorrow I will put together my form to claim a box, and I'll put that in the details for you guys down below when this actually posts, in case you do want to try out one of my boxes. I would love to put it together for you. But because I have scaled back on those premium Happy Meal packages, right? I am now adding at least 2 to 3 full-size samples in every box, okay? My April box, I've already decided, will feature premium samples of all 5 of the spring bricks, Okay. Now, in this particular box, my samples fit my theme perfectly. So I did Fiji Flower washer whiffs, right? And I did generous. Like this is enough to run a load with. And I even themed my stickers to match. Now, typically I just put a sticker on there saying this is what it is. But like I said, because I didn't have to do 40 to 50 of those individual small packages, and I really got to put my creativity and my focus and my drive into the boxes, which are, let's be honest, these bring me an insane amount of joy. Happy Mail, yes and no, right? Like I'm a big believer in Happy Mail, but to a point. I do think it's important, but these are what makes Scentsy fun for me, okay? This makes Scentsy fun for me. Happy Mail, not so much. And sorry, I know that I have some people who get Happy Mail from me who watch this, and that's... Please don't think for 1 second that I don't want to spoil you rotten. I absolutely do, but I think I can spoil you better in other ways when I'm not feeling like, oh my God, I got 50 of those and my kids are home. Way better. So, anywho, Fiji Flower wash whiffs. Oh my goodness. So when Fiji Flower came out in wax, okay, in that summer collection 2 summers ago now, based on the description, I was like, there is no way. There's no way I'm going to like it. It's floral. I'm going to hate it. I did not get the laundry. The laundry sold out by the time I could get my nose into the bar. And then I was like, okay, but it's back. It's back. I have the wax in my club. I get 2 bars quarterly. This is so good. This is so good. Now, after I made these boxes, I did do my couch blankets in Fiji Flower because that's a really good one for me to test because we have a multitude of couch blankets and my children inevitably end up throwing them on the floor and they probably get a good bath once a week, right? Like they need a bath. I'm sorry. Most of them, a good chunk of them are Scentsy blankets. The other ones are like Chicago Bears for James. Cause he's like, I don't want a purple couch blanket. I'm like, I'll take it and you can have the Bears. Oh my God, the performance on Fiji Flower, and that's not having my Scent Soft, right? Like I will tell you that makes me salty. That Scent Soft is not an option. I paired it with Luna. Okay, Luna is a very light performer in the laundry, and I did stock up on 21 bottles of Scent Soft, primarily Fluffy Fleece and Luna before it left. Okay, so good. So good. And I will tell you, if they do a clearance update and there's Scent Soft in there, I will probably get more. Because 21 bottles of Scent Soft, I know it sounds crazy, will not last me eternally. It just won't. So, Fiji Flower, amazing performance in laundry. It is a rival for Fluffy Fleece. I love Fluffy Fleece. I really, truly love Fluffy Fleece. But I love this too. It's going to have to be a rotation, right? Like anything else can take a backseat. Magnolia Linen, bye-bye. Clean Breeze, and I know it hurts your feelings. Bye-bye. Clothesline, bye. Fiji Flower, Fluffy Fleece for me all the way. All the way. I am excited to see about that. Bring back my washer whiffs. But again, I am a girl of, I like the set. You're messing with my OCD to only give me washer whiffs. Yar. But I figure I can pair anything with Luna because Luna is basically non-existent scent-wise in laundry. My clothes will still be clean. The washer whiffs will win. And we'll go from there. Okay. But without fabric softener, I might as well just basically like stick a fork in a light socket because it's winter and my house is dry, and if I wasn't using fabric softener, I would get electrocuted by my laundry. Okay. So anywho, Fiji Flower washer whiffs went in there. The other thing that went in there, again, fitting my theme, is the Daydream Oasis Counter Clean. Okay. You can see this is a good size sample, right? Like I am not being chintzy. I'm not being chintzy on my samples in any way, shape, or form that are going into these boxes. Yet, of course, one, it's the new fragrance that was released, and it happened to fit my theme perfectly. daydream, 70s, good vibes, dreaming, right? Like, it was perfect. And last but not least, they got an exclusive sample of mango matcha. Again, kind of fit my color theme. I feel like, come on, matcha tea fit the 70s theme anyway, so they got the exclusive sample of mango matcha in the fun little Scentsy mold shapes. And again, I don't do a whole lot of molds, right? Because they do take time. They do use quite a bit of wax. But if you are getting the April box, you will get a very generous sample of all 5 bricks will be in that box. Okay. And the very last touch that went into this box, and I did homework. The number one selling candy in the 70s was Blow Pops, was the Charms Blow Pops. So they got a Blow Pop in their box. And then these, I'm sorry, these have been around forever. They are extremely nostalgic and they were just freaking cute. Like, they fit everything that I wanted in this box. I was actually on the phone with my girlfriend at the store going, these are not on the top 10 list, but I feel like I need them in my box. And she's like, I know they date back to the 70s. You better get them. So they probably date back further than that. But they were fun. These are the little added touches that make Scentsy fun for me. This is where my creative outlet is, in my bundles. And I got so far away from those these last few months because part of me was like, I need less product coming into my home. I will send out larger Happy Mail. They'll still get that extra added touch, but really, like, not that at no point has it ever entered my mind to stop doing Scentsy, right? Like that, and if you're a consultant, right? And I know a lot of you are, if you're a consultant, right? Like you'll hear a lot about burnout, right? Because we went through this massive, crazy hyper growth. And truly, honestly, if you watch enough Scentsy videos, even if you're not a consultant, one, if you're watching these videos, you need to hit me up before this month is over. But two, right? Like you hear a lot of things about burnout and whatnot. Like, I'm not burnt out. I'm not burnt out on Scentsy. I'm burnt out on my own life. For obvious reasons. But at no point am I feeling burnt out on Scentsy. But I don't ever want to let myself get to that point where I feel burnt out, right? Like, I don't ever want to look at this and be like, okay, we got to just get this done, right? Like, I don't want to do that. I want to look at every single month and every single thing that I do going, I cannot believe that I get to do this for a living. And Happy Meal was starting to not feel like that for me. Bundles, boxes. This is my creative outlet. This is why I started Scentsy in the first place, to branch out, and it was for me, right? Like, I did it for me because I was on lockdown with 6 kids, but actually I don't think it was 6. I think it was like 5. But, you know, I was on lockdown with a bunch of kids after just quitting my career, going, what the frick is going on? Right? Like, I was losing myself. I was losing my mind. I feel like I'm restarted that track of trying to find who I am again, because let's be straight, I'm not, everything in my life looks the same and not at all the same all at the same time. And I know that doesn't make sense, right? Like, it doesn't make sense if you're not sitting where I'm sitting, but I do know a few of you are sitting or have been walking in these shoes for longer than I have. And I don't know who I am without my husband. I'm still doing all the same things and trying to keep up and trying to still be the same mom and live the same life because I want to give my children stability. But like I noticed today, my 4-year-old, Lena, got up, like got herself a step stool, got up and got her own cup and got her own drink today. Like, Haley wasn't like that at 4, right? Like, it never would have entered her mind to just go get her own drink. And I mean, and it's partially because, like, Haley doesn't have the same, like, Haley and Elena are on the same maturity level, let's be straight. And we got, like, her cognitive testing back, and, like, as a parent, right, like, it hurts your feelings to see your kid below average. Just being honest. You guys know she's got sensory. So, and basically, like, I looked into the cognitive testing. This was more for the teacher than it was for me. It didn't tell me anything I didn't already know about my child, right? Like, she doesn't multitask well. You have to be very direct and tell her this is what we're working on and this is what we need to get done. And you can't incorporate too much, right? Like, her brain just doesn't process all the information simultaneously the way that Elena's does, right? Like, Elena's mind is constantly, she's very mechanically minded, and that kid is calculating everything 5 steps ahead of everybody else. Like, I am afraid for my future because she's too damn smart for my own good. Oh, I hope I'm not looking forward to her teenage years. So anywho, so whatever. So I was looking at it today and I'm like, the amount that my kids have grown in the last 9 months, in the ways that they have found their own independence in things, makes me proud, but makes me sad. Because I don't know if it's just because, you know, again, Haley's 6, Elena's 4, and it's basically, they're on the same maturity level, right? So, like, as they're starting to do these things, I don't know if it's just because really they've grown, or if it's because I'm really that different of a mom where they don't want to bother me to ask them to get, you know, to ask me to get them something to drink, which logically I know is bull crap, right? Because they still ask me 99.9% of the time, Mom, I'm thirsty. Mom, I need this, right? I'm like, it's sitting next to you. Can you reach over? No, I want you to get it, right? Like, I do. That still happens, but I don't know. It was a very profound moment for me today when my 4-year-old got her own drink. So, I don't know. And maybe that's part of why this week has been so hard, right? Part of why I'm so much on the struggle bus and, like, just trying to figure out, like, hi, Kylo. I'm not crying yet, buddy. The black kitties will come and check on anybody if they're sad. Baby Ray in particular, right? Like, she's been snuggling me a lot this week. His sister. She will snuggle me she's been snuggling me a whole lot this week. She's just following me around all over the dang place. You know, but I don't know. Like, I'm trying to figure out hyperbole. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out where I fit because I don't feel like I fit anywhere in the normal world, right? Like, I don't know. I don't fit in the circles that I did. You know, my friends have their partners to go home to, and it's really hard. And, like, you know, here I have a kid-free night, and normally my husband and I would have gone to dinner. Or every now and again, he would drag me up to the casino because he liked to play roulette. I'm the one who's like, oh, I'll take $20 on a slot, right? Like, I have a good time going just for the sake of being out, but, like, I'm not a big gambler or anything like that. Like, it never would have fazed me, right? Or maybe we would have just ordered pizza and sat on the couch and watched a movie. But nobody bothered to, like, they knew I wasn't going to have the kids. Nobody bothered to make plans because they already had plans. They had plans with their own families, with their own spouses. And it's really lonely and really hard sometimes. You know, I don't know. I mean, I have a really good circle. I've got a really good support system, so don't think that I don't. And I found this incredible woman in this incredible community. She's a widow coach, and her name is Heather Quizzle, and you'll find her on Instagram. But I'm also part of her Safe Speak community, which is, you know, it's therapy, but it's not therapy per se. Like, she is a licensed psychologist. She is, but she's also a widow herself. And I don't know, like being able to be in that safe space, the things that I'm experiencing, like feeling like, oh my God, I've lost myself. I can't be around people. Like, how do I fit into my life anymore? Like, at least it's normal, right? Like, I'm not abnormal, right? Like, I don't know. I'm normal for my situation. And like, you know, my dad passed when I was 18, and my bonus mom was a widow at my same age, at 39. But, you know, she's 20 years down, right? Like, and how do you talk to your mom about some of those things, right? Like, there are just some things that you don't want to tell your mom about. And, you know, there's a lot of things that I will talk to both of my moms about, but there are some things that, like, I don't know, like, I also don't want to redredge up everything for her either. I mean, not that she doesn't feel it every day. She absolutely does. She's very honest about that. You know, but she went on and found what they call a chapter 2. And like, I am not in a place where that I can even, I don't know that I can ever go there, truthfully. I don't really have any desire to. So I don't know. So being part of that community, and like, everybody handles it differently. Like, and you'll see that, like, I see that even in the community, right? Like, I handle things one way, where I have certain thoughts or certain feelings one way, and I found other people who are kind of like that, but there's still this whole other side of the group that doesn't, you know, see it the same way. So I don't know. I mean, it's just, I'm trying. And this week, like I said, it's something about it. Like, I'm just upside down. So I don't know. I am going to snort some Vicks. And like, I was doing so good. And then I had to go drudge up all kinds of stuff. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm about to really start the waterworks. We're an hour in. So if you have made it this far, know that I love you and I appreciate you. And I will catch you all later. Bye-bye.